So finally some good news. Today Apple released iOS 13.4 to the general public, and what that means is that if you have the supported device like an iPhone SE or an iPhone 6s all the way to the iPhone 11, you can be able to go to the settings of your phone and download iOS 13.4 from the air. If you have been following the channel, you probably know that earlier on this week I released iOS 13.4, the official GM release. That's the general master version release, which is given to developers and beta testers so that they can be able to develop their application and softwares according to what Apple is making. The only difference is that the GM comes out a bit better so that they can make software and application to tailor what Apple has set. Now, since I've been covering iOS 13.4 from the first beta until now, until it was officially released to the public, I'm not going to pinpoint each and every new feature that came with iOS 13.4, but I'm sort of going to highlight the major changes that came with iOS 13.4 that you should be aware of. If you want to know of all the new features, you can always scroll on the Apple site, or before you download the software, there's the brief description of the new features that came with iOS 13.4. So without wasting much time, let's quickly get into the new major features of iOS 13.4. Okay, so guys, this is the phone that I've installed iOS 13.4, the official version. I had to go ahead and delete the beta profile so that I can be able to install this official public version. So without wasting much time, let's see what has changed. We'll begin with the build number. So if we go to settings, then go to general, and then go to about, we can see that the software version is now 17E255. So the build number is now 17E255, and this is for the iPhone X. This is going to be the same for all devices that support iOS 13.4. And then if we scroll down and see the modem firmware, we can see that we now have 3.04.02. If you are having Wi-Fi issues or data connection issues, this should be able to solve your issues. Next, with iOS 13.4, we now have a new animation. So the same as you have an animation for the AirPods or AirPods Pro when you open up the case, you now have new animation for the Beats earphone. So this is something new that has been added in the system software, and it's good to know that Apple has now been trying to improve the Beats and also add the animation to the system. Another change that came with the iOS 13.4 is to do with the Apple TV app. So if we were to go into settings and then go to Apple TV, we can see that we now have more options for streaming. We can stream using cellular data, and if you enable that option, you have this other two options, whether you want to stream in high quality or whether you want to stream in data save mode. And data save mode is good for you if you have a plan that's limited, but if you have a plan that's unlimited, you can always stream in high quality. So you really have that option to choose, and it's good that Apple has actually included this in the software. One of the new features that came with iOS 13.4 that I personally like a lot because I use it a lot is new Memoji stickers. So we now have 9 new Memoji stickers. It's good to know that they work with most social media applications. This is WhatsApp, and as you can see, it's supported. So most of the new Memoji stickers are on the bottom of the list, so we have quite a number. For example, we have you using a MacBook, this cross, blow my mind, and so on. So those are some of the new Memoji stickers that you can put to good use and enjoy. So keep in mind that when you update, you will get these new Memoji stickers. Another great and amazing feature that came with iOS 13.4 is mouse support for the iPad and iPad Pro. So if you have an iPad or iPad Pro that has iOS 13.4, you can be able to use your mouse as a trackpad, and this is good as it brings the iPad closer to the computer type of tablet that Apple keeps on saying and marketing the iPad as a mini computer or better than a computer. So now the iPad will support the mouse and trackpad, which is something great and basically makes the iPad easier to navigate around. So now when it comes to performance for iOS 13.4, performance wise, it's a bit better. I notice a great improvement of 7 to 9% for devices ranging from the iPhone 7 all the way to the iPhone 11. However, for older devices like the iPhone SE or iPhone 6s, I didn't see a great improvement, and that also goes for the iPhone 7. The improvement isn't that significant, and that's improvement in terms of battery performance and also in terms of CPU, GPU performance. So keep that in mind, that if you have an older device like the iPhone SE or iPhone 6s and you update, you won't see great performance when it comes to CPU, GPU performance. But if you have a newer device like the iPhone 8 all the way to the iPhone X and iPhone 11, you will see a slight improvement in both GPU and CPU performance. So should you update your device to iOS 13.4 since it's been released here, as you can see, and it's been released to the public and not just to beta testers or developers? I should say that with iOS 13.4, I didn't see a lot of bugs this time around. What I did notice is that before, when we would enable VPN, we would get that animation in the top corner to indicate that we have connected VPN. And when we used to disable VPN with the previous beta, we would get an animation to show that VPN has been disconnected. But this time around, it won't show that VPN has been disconnected. It was sort of great to know that if you're using VPN and you disable VPN, you get that assurance that VPN has been cancelled. But now this time around, there's no way to tell. You have to physically come into the settings and make sure VPN has been turned off. It was useful because if you're using like a banking application, you certainly don't want to use your banking application with the VPN enabled, as it might lead to your bank account being disabled temporarily. But that was something that was in iOS 13.4, but it seems like this time around it's not working or it's been disabled. So in terms of updating, I would say if you have an older device like an iPhone 6s or iPhone 7, just hold on a little bit, as when a new software is released, it usually comes with bugs and issues. So iOS 13.4 might actually be the last iOS 13 version. So if you update your old device to this software, you might actually be stuck with this software for some time until Apple actually refreshes the older devices. So just hold on a little bit. Apple might release iOS 13.4.1 soon to cover some of the bugs that will come across as we test this software. So just hold on. But if you have a newer device, you can certainly upgrade your device because it's been improved both CPU wise and GPU wise. The performance is up by like 8%, and battery performance has also been enabled. And so just keep that in mind. If you would like to know and see some of the new features that came with iOS 13.4, make sure you check out my other videos on the channel, as I cover them in details, and you can always get them online if you would like to know most of the new features that come with iOS 13.4. These for me are some of the major ones that I wanted to cover. So that's about it from me when it comes to iOS 13.4. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so that you get the latest videos as soon as we release them. And thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and as always, I will catch you in the next upload. Peace.